YouTube is Goddess, and I'm doing MAFS review for episode 14 and 15. So episode 14 was the episode when Dr. Pia came and they were doing the intimacy episode. I was lackluster last week. I was so bored. That's why I'm not showing my face this week because this is so boring. MAFS is dry. But we'll talk about the highlights of that episode. So the highlights of the episode was Nicole. Dr. Pia basically talked to everybody and gave everybody like work to do on getting more intimate with their partners, because we only have like one couple that's discussed in this episode that they've been intimate. So we discussed Nicole and Chris. Now Nicole and Chris are doing good, but in the episode, what's very interesting is come to find out that there's still some things that Chris needs to do to meet Nicole's needs, but she's holding back from what Dr. P is saying. Like, she's trying to please him because she doesn't want to rock the boat, basically, and he still needs to provide more foreplay for her, as well as she doesn't feel satisfied at all, which I find very interesting, to say the least. But not surprising, because no offense, Chris, to me, in my opinion, does like he seems like an okay guy. It seems like he's pretty okay, but I still don't think like he's being fully truthful about all information he's given. Now it's like I said in my last video, he is the victim all the damn time. To me, like, everybody did him wrong. He's never admitted to doing anything wrong, and I still like Nicole over Chris. I just feel like Chris is not being authentic, even though he seems like he's an okay guy. I don't know. It's lackluster, but yeah, Miss Nicole is a people pleaser. And then another thing that I liked about Dr. Pia was the fact that she stopped Nicole from being negative towards herself and told her to stop saying that she was effed up and all this other stuff. Because Nicole has a thing about talking down on herself, which is not a very good thing, because her self-esteem was very low in the past, and it seems like it's still low now because she still talks about herself in a very negative manner, which is not a good thing at all, which, she needs to fix that. She needs to work on it, but it's good that she's willing to work on it, and I think that she needs to do shadow work and journal and get deeper into her head and write it out. Because sometimes talking with somebody else is good, but journaling it out and really writing down and rereading what you write helps a lot. Because I did shadow work my own self about things in my past, and it kind of helped me get better as a person and work on myself more so, and look at myself and do a lot of introspection, which she does a lot. But I think that she needs to kind of work on herself on her own, even though she wants the support from him. But I think that she should work on herself a lot, because she has a lot of work to do with her self-esteem and figuring out herself more, which everybody has to work on themselves. But I'm happy Dr. P got on her about that. Like, yeah, we not finna talk about ourselves like that, because when you talk about yourself in that way, your subconscious mind hears it, and then you'll continue to keep saying it to yourself. So she has to do more positive affirmations, more, and saying that I'm beautiful, I love the way I am, things like that, to feel better about herself, in my opinion. Then we have Gina and Clint with the intimacy, and there's no intimacy there at all with them that episode. So the lady was trying to basically, Dr. P was just telling them like what kind of stuff are they into, things like that. And Clint was like, I like vanilla scent, things like that, music would help me, things like that. And then Gina was like, yeah, I like scents, but I like a guy and he has to have like a certain swag. Then Clint gonna talk about, oh, I got swag, I'm swag 100, you didn't give me a chance. I'm like, no, if you swagged out, you're gonna be swagged out whether you chilling any given time. You just got the swag, period. Like, swag is just everything. It's your essence. It's how you present yourself. It's your confidence. And that's the one thing I could say. Clint is funny. He has a good personality, and he does have the confidence aspect, but he doesn't have swag. Like he doesn't have that, what we consider swag. But he was funny as hell this episode. It's like, okay, Clint, you are so funny. Like, that's the only thing that I could say is like, Gina is lucky to have a guy like him because he's so respectful of her. He's nice. He cooks. He's a sweetheart. And he's caring. He cares about her dog. He's respectful to her. It's just that Gina's not really into him. He's not really her type. And she ain't trying to get intimate with him at all. But she did try, like Dr. Pia said, like to just try it out. They did the massages. She rubbed them. But she's just not into to Clint at all. Clint ain't for her. It don't seem like Clint is really into her like that at all. Just because of just the way she is. He's trying, but she's just not giving what he's looking for. So they're not finna work. Then we have our favorite Eris and Jasmine, and Dr. Pia talked to them as well. And basically she was just letting Dr. Pia know that she just don't feel like, intimacy ain't working for them because he's not into her. Again, we hear about the fact he's not into her. And she said, y'all gotta work on being intimate because we have to make an effort here. And she was talking about that she doesn't open up to him for the simple fact that he doesn't seem like he cares about anything that she says and things like that. He doesn't seem like he cares, so she really don't want to open up. So they had to work on intimacy. So they tried to work on it. Jasmine was trying again, but as soon as it went in the kitchen, she come to find out that he basically lied to her since the beginning, from wedding day, that he never liked her from period. Like, he just was presenting that just because he didn't want to hurt her feelings, which is understandable, I guess. I don't know. I just can't with Eris. And I just feel like, for me, I like Jasmine. She's a sweetheart and things of that nature. But for me, I would have threw in a towel weeks ago. It's just like, this is a waste of your time and waste of your energy. Keep trying with a person that is full of crap. And really doesn't want to make an effort. He's really not interested in making a true effort to try. So for me, I'm not interested in hearing nothing he has to say. And then we have Shaquille and we have our girl Shaquille and Kirsten. So for them, their issue in their situation with intimacy is her not thinking that Shaquille is masculine enough for her. Like, him moving boxes, she said, turned her on. And then Dr. Pia tried to get deeper with Kirsten about why did that? Because she keeps comparing and contrasting Shaquille to her papa, her dad. And like Shaquille said, I can't really be like what you're looking for, like your dad. So I don't know what more you want me to do about that. I'm doing the best that I can, all that I can. So what more do you want from me? And I concur and I agree with him. Like, how much more do you want this guy to do? You keep comparing him to your dad and want him to be your dad. He's not your dad. If you want to be with your dad, then you need to, I don't know what to tell you, but this man cannot be your dad. But at the same time, Kirsten was talking about the fact that he, told her last minute that about going to see her, but according to him, he told her from the beginning she said she was, and then last minute she changed her mind or what have about going. So he feels kind of a way about that, which is understandable. Because I'd feel a way about somebody if I tell them I want them to go somewhere, and then they say they're going to go, and then last minute change their mind, then, oh, now I'm not going, I got stuff to do at home, which she should have said that from the beginning. She wasn't able to go from the beginning so that he wouldn't be anticipating. And I think that's why when they video chat, he was giving her attitude, because he really wanted her to be down there and see about what he's doing. But at the same time, I could see how she could look at him and kind of way like, I had something to do. I had to work on Sunday. I couldn't go all the way out there. And she probably didn't want to go through the hassle of traveling, the hustle and bustle and stuff when she had something to do at work. So I kind of understand Kirsten. And Kirsten is trying to support him as best as she can, like she says. So kind of see her supporting him. But I guess he needs more support is what he's saying. So for that last episode, he was getting on her about the fact that she didn't support him like she recently said that she was, and how he needs her support and he needs her to come through more for him because it's not going to work. Now we're going to go to episode 15, which is the current episode this week. In this episode, they were meeting with all the different coaches came this episode. We have a new coach, Deacon over here, Megan Good's ex-husband or whatever. He's assisting and helping. So this episode, he was talking to our girl, Jasmine. and trying to help Jasmine and Eris in their relationship and get better, because it seems like their relationship is basically like it's not finna work. Like they're not working at all. So they're trying to, help out by talking and stuff like that. For me, I don't know. It don't seem like it's gonna work in my opinion because of Eris though. It seems like Eris is just not into it and he's not trying to make an effort. So Deacon was basically talking to our girl Jasmine and trying to talk with her, and she was saying like she hasn't been, opening up as much. And then he was telling her like, why do you think you don't do so? And then she was talking about how she doesn't have communication issues, and how Eris kind of basically downplays like what she says is like trauma to her, because he's been through way more traumatic things to her, and she didn't really see herself being bullied and having low self-esteem as trauma. And then Deacon was trying to tell her that is trauma, and like what you've been through is something very big and traumatic, like being bullied. So that is a trauma. It may not be like his, but it's important that you don't downplay what you've been through, because that's trauma too. And I was like, okay, I like that. He was understanding, because for me, I just feel like Jasmine, like she's been through certain things and they've been through different things, but they do have commonalities. But the whole fact that she hasn't been through what he's been through, seeing people having a friend that killed themselves and all this other stuff that he's been through, it seems like a lot of times when she says stuff, it's like he downplays what she's saying, try to make her feel bad because she hasn't had the experience he's had. She's a woman, you're a man. Men and women have two different experiences in life. So I really don't like Eris, just for the simple fact that when she did open up from prior episodes, he would kind of degrade, like put down what she was saying and kind of be like, oh, that's it. See, when you talk, she don't be like, that's it. Because for me, I told him straight up, like, no offense, but I'm tired of hearing about your little sob stories all the time. Always something. He's another one that he's just like Chris to me, because Chris does the same thing. It's like always a sob story, and everybody gotta feel sorry for you and feel bad for you and understand where you're coming from. But when it's time to understand other people, it doesn't seem like they can understand or empathize with other people, but they want all the empathy and all the sympathy. And I don't feel no empathy for Eris, because I just understand you've been through stuff. But when she tries to open up, when she was opening up, you were kind of rude to her. So that's the reason why I feel like she's not opening up as much, because when she opens up about stuff, it's like you don't give a damn, you don't think it's a big deal, but it's a big deal for her that she went through bullying. That hurts. And going through bullying, because I've been through that affects you, how you feel about yourself, especially if people are degrading you about the way you look and coming down on you for the way you speak and how you are, and just the simple fact of you being who you are. It affects you in life and can really mess you up for a very long time. So just because, he's been through a lot of death and stuff, and that affected him away, having low self-esteem affects you just as much. And it's just as traumatic going through being bullied. It's like he tries to downplay what she goes through, but she has to feel all the sympathy and empathy for him all day. So he needs to learn how to listen and be a good listener and be understanding and reassuring to people. And that's what he doesn't do. He's like more so like harsh and more so self-centered and more so about himself. And no offense to him, like, we understand you've been through a lot, and it is kind of sad what happened to him, losing his dad and losing his friend. But he was kind of selfish, especially with the friend thing, about the fact that the friend died and how upset he was that he lost him, and that was self. It's like when people commit suicide, things like that, or what have you, you don't know how it feels because you're not them. So you can't really be like, oh, they were being selfish. They didn't feel like they were being selfish. They thought that they were doing what's best for them because they that angry and upset in their life. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's very self-centered. He thinks everything is about him all the time, even when it came to his friend. Like, that's like, you really are self-centered, my guy. Like, come on. Like, you thinking it's about you, but that person did that for a whole different reason. When people do those kind of things, they're not thinking about other people because they're so deep within themselves or whatever's going on with them that they ain't seeing how they could hurt other people. A lot of people that do that, when they do that, they don't think about other people, obviously, because if they did, most people know that they have people that love them, that care about them, that really need them in their life. And sometimes people just They don't got time for it. Like, they ain't thinking about it, especially when the issue is so big to them. So I just feel like Eris is very selfish. And poor Jasmine, I just felt kind of bad. But I was happy that the deacon was talking with her and making her see that what she went through is just as traumatic as what he went through. Nobody's trauma is more bigger than the other, and what she went through is just as traumatic because she had very low self-esteem. And I like the fact that he told her that she needs to stop sweeping things under the rug, and she needs to really learn how to speak up and talk about how she feels about things. And I agree with her. You never, because I used to be like how she was when I was younger. When I was in elementary school, I used to be like that, like real, like I never used to want to say the truth or say how I feel. But as I got older and I was around different kind of people in school and public schools and stuff, I started to see, because I'm an extrovert, but I still had times where I was shy or whatever, certain times. So I agree with him. She has to start opening her mouth. And I like this episode where she really went off on him and let him know about herself when they all met up and they had the whiskey drink and they were doing a drink and they were talking about how their marriage is going. She met up with other couples. I loved how when they were doing the line dance and they all split up and they started dancing with each other, how when he went off with the instructor and dancing with her, how she got totally pissed off and she walked away and told him straight up, I'm out of here because what you're doing is wrong. Like, that kind of pissed me off. He made it seem, it's not a big deal. I'm a bad dancer. Clint is a bad dancer too, but you didn't see Clint dancing with the instructor and ignoring his wife and doing that. It's just like he always has an excuse to do disrespectful and rude things to Jasmine. And for me, Jasmine, this episode should have threw in a towel. There was no reason for her to stay around anymore. He has no respect for her. He does not want to make no effort. He is not trying. And when he met, the deacon met with him as well. When the deacon met up with him, he was talking with him. He said, I understand what you're going through in your relationship. And you were saying how you're physically not attracted to her. Okay, well, we have to get past that. So what are you attracted to with her? Like, what attracts you to her? What other attributes? And then he described the attributes and he said, okay, so if that is, then why are you not making an effort? Because he was like, at your job, you make effort at your job, right? And he was like, yeah. Because, I can lose my job. He said, well, you should feel the same way about your marriage. If you don't perform in your marriage will fail. But how he described it tells you that he's not going to pick Jasmine, because what he said was, for a job, I need that job. And if I don't have the job, I can't pay my bills. And it's important for me to show up and do what I'm supposed to do. But he doesn't feel in his marriage that he needs to do the same, because he said, this is a certain amount of days to do. If it don't work out, if it ends, it is what it is. Oh, well. So he's putting in no effort because he doesn't give a damn, basically. And he doesn't feel like it's important. He feels like his job is more important to deal with, because that's something that he uses to pay his bills, and that's more important. So he's really not looking at this as anything serious. Like Jasmine said last episode and episodes from before, he's not taking it serious. And I just felt like Jasmine just threw in the towel after what he did, because he made a real trash excuse about what he did and why he did it, and I just don't get that or understand what was his point and standpoint about doing that. Like, that was just very, classless and rude. I was like, oof. Jasmine's better than me, because I'm an extrovert, so I keep it 1,000. When I talk to someone, I tell them what it is. If you want to know how I feel about something, I let it be known. My whole family, when I talk to my family, or I feel some type of way about something my family members do, I tell them straight to their face how I feel. I don't sugarcoat nothing for nobody. So I couldn't be her. I'm good at communication, and I'm a good listener as well. So me, I come at people's neck. And if I was telling you now, my mom told me to do this show. I said, hell no, I can't do this show, because I'd have gave up already. On a man like Eris would have pissed me off. And it would have pissed me off if a show like this, I tell you specifically, I want this, that, and a partner, and you purposely pick the opposite of what I asked for and give me some idiotic asshole like this. So I'll be good for TV, because I get in your ass right on camera. I don't give two fucks or dams about what you are talking about. I'm going to tell you straight up what it is. And if you don't like it, it's going to be too bad. You want to disrespect and come at me sideways, I'm going to do the same. I'm from New York too, so we straight no chaser. We telling you what it is regardless. And then, I got a Nigerian daddy, Nigerian parents. They don't hold back nothing. If they are very ashamed in you or very like upset about something that you do, they gonna tell you to your face, I'm ashamed about what you did, or I'm disappointed in you, or I don't like you did this, that you should have did. So I've been raised with a whole bunch of things where you have to be honest. So I couldn't do it with Eris. Eris would have got it already. I would have told him to his face, like, you're disrespectful as hell. First of all, like I get you are not attracted to me, but you need to get past it at some point, because if you want this to work, you're going to have to get past that, because physical goes away, over time. When you are in a situation that as you age, your physical can be messed up at any given time. You can get disabled. You can get injured at any time. So you have to have more to yourself than just physical. So he needs to get over that. I'd have been told him that already. Like, you need to move on with that, boo-boo, because no offense, you may be look good or whatever in your opinion, but I can get better, boo-boo. You're not I would have told him about himself, like, you're not the only fish in the sea, boo-boo. There's plenty of people I can get out here in these streets. Like, I'm married to you legally, so at this point, I'm trying to make it work. But if you're going to continue to bring up the fact you're not attracted to me, like, let's be real, you're not all that, like, just saying. So she needs, like, I'm happy that she's realizing this episode and she's being told she needs to be real, and I'm happy she was real about how she felt for once. Like, instead of talking about and being timid, and she made that motherfucker sleep on the couch. That was funny. I said, you better get it, girl. Make him sleep on the couch. That's what he deserves. Let him have some back pain, because his ass got the nerve to disrespect you like that. No. Let's go on to the next. We got Shaquille and Kirsten. This episode, they're still harboring on what they harbored on last episode, their issues with communication. So this episode, they met up as a couples and talked and, and had them a good time. And, Kirsten pissed Shaquille off because Nicole, as usual, every time they meet up, she tries to act like she's the expert on everything, even though she's the main person with self-esteem problems and constantly messing up her own situation with the way that she comes off. I like Nicole, but Nicole needs to stop when they have these meetings acting like she's the guru of everything. Just because your relationship is a little bit better than everybody else and you were intimate first and y'all did things more quicker than everybody else, y'all's situation ain't the best situation either. Like, she needs to chill out. Like, she be kind of annoying every episode. I know probably the production probably told her to do that, but my whole thing is Nicole needs to chill because she is tripping. I'm like, girl, if you don't shut the hell up. She pissed Shaquille off. Like, they were sitting in that meeting and she was talking about how, when they met up at doing girl time last episode, the baseball episode last week. Whatever, I didn't mention that on my synopsis of it because I just wanted to do the intimacy part and stuff and talk about their real issue. I really didn't care about them going to the baseball field. But she was talking about when they went to the baseball field and talking about how, Kirsten and him and about their communication and how she feels like it could be better and how she told them how she was willing to give it up or whatever or what have it. And she would if he would be a little bit more like, a little bit more assertive and just assert herself and things of that nature, that she would give it up. Jasmine even said, yeah, she done told us she want to give you everything you got. So she kind of made it seem last week that she didn't give it up, and then Shaquille told her, nah, we did it already. We consummated our marriage already. What you mean? So what more assertive did I not do if we already consummated it already? He was like, oh, really? Jasmine said, well, I got some words for you, Kirsten. I said, uh-oh. She said, girl, bet, okay? You lied to me, okay? You already slept with him, so what the hell was all of that about? You don't realize that Kirsten's a damn liar, girl, and she's an exaggerator? You didn't know that? She's an extra, read all about it person? Like, she's a fake. You don't realize that she exaggerates stuff all the time. Every time she meet with y'all, oh, his communication is not so good. But she never says what she's doing wrong all the time. She never says what's happening that she's not doing right. She always puts everything on Shaquille, and never puts nothing on herself. You notice that about her? Like, you should have known, Jasmine, she was full of it. She was full of it, okay? You should have known. That girl, she's something. I thought that they had did something since a couple weeks ago. My own fucking self. I said I thought they been did something. That's why when they admitted it, he finally said something. I'm like, I figured they did it that day that he was painting her a couple episodes ago. So I just really thought that was weird that all of a sudden now I'm like, girl, if you don't sit down somewhere. I was crying though. It was funny. It was funny, but still, it was very entertaining though. I was feeling it. It was cute. I was like, oh, and then Clint with his foolish stuff. They went to Pound Town. I said, Clint, if you don't be quiet, I know you mad. I know you jealous because you and Gina ain't Pound Town or nothing. You ain't getting no play. You ain't getting no kisses. You ain't getting no feels. Shaquille and Kirsten's getting it in. Chris and Miss Girl Nicole is getting it in, and you and Gina ain't doing nothing, and Aries and old girl ain't doing shit either. So you feeling away, probably like, damn, I gotta say something because my ass is feeling away because I ain't getting nowhere type soon. Getting no type of feels, no type of love, no type of nothing because I don't got time. I'm like, look at you, Clint. I feel sorry for Clint because I just feel like Clint is a real, like, attractive man. Like, just on rip, just how he is. He's just very attractive, in my opinion, just because he's funny. I think I like guys that make me laugh for the simple fact that he makes you laugh and he's so sweet and he makes so much effort to try. And like he said this episode when he was talking to Gina, like he made her some catfish. He made her a po' boy and he cooked for her. And the way he is with Hank, it's just like he's such a sweet guy. Like, girl, I would like a man to cook for me and be all sweet like that. He's so nice. I like Clint. I don't know. Clint has got, I've always liked Clint. I knew straight from the beginning that Clint was a good guy. He was funny. Like, he was like, he's an asshole. No, he's not. He was never an asshole. He's more authentic and genuine than Gina. I've never liked Gina since the wedding. I didn't like the way her face looked. Everybody's like, she's so pretty. First of all, no offense to anybody else, but Gina to me looked like she had like something done to her, like her face, and then like the whole time during the wedding, her lips was doing something weird to me. I was just like, what is happening? What's going on with this girl? And I'm like, oh yeah, she got work done. Okay, it figures. I do like Gina, but I don't like the way she comes off. Like, yeah, she's not very genuine. So I've never really liked her. Like, my favorites, like I always say, my favorites is Jasmine, Clint, Shaquille, yeah, and Nicole. I'm on the fence with Chris a little bit because he's not really being authentic. I'm sorry. I've been figured him out already. He's not being 100 authentic, and he's the victim too much for me. He's always the victim. Everybody got to understand and be sympathetic and empathetic to him. But every time Nicole comes out and talks about certain things, sometimes he's empathetic, but then he's very two-faced too. It's like he'll say one thing to her face, but in the confession be prejudging her and talking about, oh, blah, blah. And like, boo-boo, people can judge you. And no offense to him, I don't believe his story that every person that was with him was using him for, using him for sex and doing this and that. I don't believe that because no offense, he's nasty as hell. He has 2 dogs and he doesn't clean his laundry except once a month. That's disgusting, first of all. Second of all, no. I'm sorry. If you got those 2 dogs, they got all that hair that they shedding and they you don't wash your clothing, they all over your clothes and stuff, like all over your things like that, you have an odor, in my opinion, and he is not what it is. I'm sorry. I don't believe his story that all these women are after him and he's so da-da-da-da-da and he gets girls like this and they be using him only. I feel like if he got with females, some of them are with him like him because he seems like a nice guy and they get with him for being nice, but then once they get with him and see the habits that he had, they probably stop being attracted to him and probably don't want nothing to do with him and probably are not giving him none. Like, he's like exaggerating. I don't believe his story that he's getting females like that and they so crazy over him. I believe it's the opposite. I think he's just like exaggerating and trying to get people to be sympathetic to him and feel bad for him. Because do you notice on the show that you see Nicole's people a whole lot more, like her dad, and see people more on Nicole's side, but you really haven't seen people on his side to really to vouch for him. We saw his 2 friends that one time and that was that. Like, I don't trust Chris. Chris is sweet though. is sweet to a sense, but I feel like he's just like, he's not being himself all the way on here, and he's putting up a certain front to make people feel bad for him. Like I said, just like Aries is always the victim. He's never this, he's never that. Yeah, I'm not feeling him. I'm sorry, I'm not really feeling him. And then this episode, I noticed that all these experts started coming out of nowhere, like Pastor Cal, met up with Chris and Nicole, and I was like, oh, look at them meeting up. Oh boy, what's Pastor Cal doing here? And then he met up with them, and then Chris said he loved Nicole. I said, oh, and she kissed him, but then Nicole was doing a little sad, soppy, sad stuff again. She was like, oh yeah, I don't want to question it, but I'm questioning it because you never know. He could just be doing it just because, and he really didn't pick me. And it's just like he said he did pick you, because we went based off of what he said he was looking for, and then we chose you, so he did pick you. Stop questioning. And I'm like, okay, girl. Because next episode, you see the clip where he brings up the fact that she's constantly not trusting in him and not believing what he's saying and going against him and stuff. I said, see, girl, see what you're doing? See what you're doing, honey? This is what people are talking about. You see what I'm talking about? You messing it up for yourself. You messing up your situation with your man acting all stupid like this. This is what I'm talking about, girl. You need to stop. You're doing too much, ma'am. And this is what I tell people all the time. Nicole, you got a good situation. He loves you, and she said she loves him back. But if she continues to be like this, she's going to mess it up. So I'm hoping that she's in therapy right now and that she's fixing what's happening within herself. Because if she continues to keep going like this, she could lose out on something so good because she's being extra. Like, I like her and everything, but Nicole, come on now. Come on now. But I'm happy she is getting the help, but yeah. I was looking like, okay, Pastor Gal, tell her. Because someone needs to tell her, like, she needs to learn how to do some positive affirmations. Like I was saying about episode 14, positive affirmation. She needs to get herself together because it's starting to get to a point where it's ridiculous now. Like, and girl, no. Nobody's finna deal with that. Like, nobody's finna deal with that all day and night. Okay? This is starting to get old, and he's going to get tired of it. And he says it in the confession that he's kind of getting tired of it. In next week's episode, he's telling her, like, she doesn't trust me. And, I'm like, uh-oh. And, they're doing a retreat next week till the final day. So, they get into the nitty gritty. So we already know who's going to, in my opinion, we already know who's going to choose each other. We know Chris and Nicole are going to choose each other, even though they have that little conflict or what have. They're going to choose each other, period. Shaquille and Kirsten is a 50-50 chance with them because they consummated the marriage now, so it's a 50-50 chance. But they need to work on their communication skills, though, because he'll tell her something and be matter of fact about it. She won't take what he says serious and then talk about how she don't think that he's like he didn't mean that and he didn't communicate it, even though he's told you specifically he wants you to go. And she already said that she will she'll be more supportive of him because his mom this episode already told her that she needs to support him more because she's going based off of what her son says. But I'm just saying she went to one of your events already, and I guess he wants her to go to more of his things. And he admitted that this episode that he wasn't graduating on time, so that was something that was really upsetting to him, and he wanted her there, and she wasn't there, so that really made him upset or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm drinking water, sorry. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So this is my review of MAFS episode Season 16, episode 14, and episode 15, because I was really dry and boring. I'm going back to doing my faceless videos because when I have to do the face videos, I have to have good lighting. I got to do all this extra stuff. When I just do the audio recording, it's easier for me to do the videos and get it to y'all quick and do the thing. So I'm going to go back to doing the audio now. If I feel like I got the time or whatever, I'll do some videos where you see my face, like my story times. I'm probably gonna take time into my story time videos if you see my face for my story times. But for these reviews for now, I'm just gonna go back to doing audios because sitting and doing the video, it's too much work for me. So Like, comment, subscribe. Just let me know what you think about the overall episodes. Episode 14, episode 15, and what you kind of think about the couples thus far. Who you think is going to choose each other in the end. Who you think is going to last out of these couples. How you feel about everybody. And just let me know. I love to hear your opinions and see your comments below and things of that nature. Just let me know. And I'll talk to you later. YouTube is Goddess.